Could you help me understand why we are doing more than what the government is mandating? Here we go.
It's the Wretched Radio Mail Call Delivery Bag.
I'm sorry, I mean...
Infotainment Nationwide Extravaganza featuring your voicemails, correspondences, communiques, dispatches, memorandums, and missives.
Any special message for all the kids watching at home?
What we need right now is a clear message to the people of this country.
You have 1,200 messages.
That is a bit above average.
Now here's your host, Todd Freakishly Tall Friel.
The mail is here!
Ooh, no, I'm not Mr. Ed. This is Wretched Radio.
What are you doing?
Well, I've been learning how to vocalize to get warmed up. You do some of those operatic techniques, you know. Aren't those ridiculous? Absolutely the silliest thing. Hey, Jimmy, as long as you brought up the subject about vocal techniques and warming up like a horse, guess what happened to me on Wednesday? There I am on the Dove Network. Once a month, I get to be on the live broadcast from the Dove TV network in the Pacific Northwest with Perry Atkinson. We're in the middle of live. Did I mention it was live TV? And all of a sudden, for some mysterious reason, I start hearing your dulcet tones through my earbuds. Hey, this is Jimmy Hicks with the... Jimmy Hicks. I didn't know you were a vocalizer, but thanks for the tips. Now I know how to do it too.
I'm a pro.
Really grateful.
Did they hear me on live TV?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I didn't know. It was one of those deals where it's like, well, if they hear it, they're going to have to say something because I can't take off my shoe and throw it at the wall to inform you that I can hear you through the earbuds. So you talking incessantly for about 10 minutes. While we were on live TV and I'm trying to hear Perry and it's you going, and in Ukraine right now, it was the that I couldn't get over.
That's what I do when I mess up.
Oh, I see. So it's not vocal technique. It's more like an exasperation.
Yeah,
it's
I'm
like,
just frustrated with myself.
Nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll remember that. Please send questions, comments, conundrum, snarks to idea at wretched.org. How do you know when you're ready? And what does that do anyway?
I don't know.
I was so shocked. They could have seen you do that on your country station. You would have been ridden out of town on a rail.
No, they let me say Bonnie Raitt, so...
That's true. That is very true. Please send questions, comments, conundrums, snarks. Don't forget about stories, sermons, articles, illustrations, anything that you think is wretched. We want it. And please send questions, comments. I'm buying time for myself. Conundrums or snarks to idea@wretched.org. What's this?
Q93.5. That was Bonnie Raitt. It was something to talk about.
Yep.
It's funny. I'm listening to this.
I said on before that with the look.
You didn't go...
No. But I probably did that break about 900 times before it was right.
Friel, we didn't ask. Okay, dude, you know how technically illiterate I am. Just running stuff is impossible. So this is back in the day when there's radio trends where they decide these are the types of styles that are currently cool. And I was doing some sidekick stuff on the morning top 40 station in Minneapolis. And the manager said, we want to consider you for being an on-air talent. So go in there and lay down some stuff because we just want somebody who can talk. It was Michael Jackson's, that'll tell you when, that was the big hit, Man in the Mirror. I probably tried 50 takes to get it right. Not a one. Needless to say, talk radio was my career path because I don't have the coordination skills to push the buttons and hit the countdown with the beat and the...
Oh, yeah. It takes
I'm going to beat this horse to death. If I had just been able to back then, maybe I could have nailed it. Please send questions, comments, conundrums, snarks to idea@wretched.org. You know, as long as we brought up radio, may I know, well, actually, some people have asked. So this is kind of a mailbag question.
Okay.
Sometimes people will, because they're interested in doing something similar, how did this all start? And I'll tell you, it's merely anecdotal because there is no textbook for doing Christian ministry or radio or anything, frankly. Now, there's stuff that you can learn, but because you're different than the people that you're talking to, your circumstances, etc., it's just there's just not like this clear path to doing a podcast or a TV program. But sometimes people will ask, and how did this start? And it started because this was the weirdest thing. I thought, okay, I think I'm going to give radio a go. I got saved, and I thought, I'll just maybe radio kind of fill in the time. So I went to the Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity station. They let me into the program director's office. I don't know why. And I pitched him the idea. And before I could finish, he said, "Can you start tonight?" Yeah, absolutely. I can start tonight. Didn't know anything. The guy who was the evening host, brilliant talent, had a nervous breakdown. And they needed somebody to fill. There I was. So cut to a couple weeks later, the guy invites me into his office. I'm sitting again on the black leather couch. I remember it because I stared at it a lot while he was talking. And he said, "All right, what's the deal? What's the deal? I can tell when you're on air, you're holding back something. What is it?" And rather sheepishly, I said, "Well, how would you feel on your political talk station about one of your hosts talking about, like spiritual things and such?" And he said, "Oh, okay. Look, whatever you're into, that's fine. You can use that to inform your opinions, but you don't want to be," and here it comes, "but you don't want to be a Bible thumper."
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the light bulb went off in my head, and I said, "Thank you, sir. It has been a real privilege. That's exactly what I want to be." And I drove across town to KTIS. They made the big mistake of hiring me. They rectified that when they fired me. But the point is, there's no clear path to it. And wow, was that helpful. I can't talk about, I can't. Believe me, I'm not the spiritual high mark here. I can't talk about politics without thinking about God. I can't do it. So here we are. And you're sending emails to idea@wretched.org. Jimmy, do you think we should actually get to it?
I think so.
Any radio tales you'd like to tell?
I've got plenty, but
I'm sure you do.
Let's get to the questions.
Alrighty.
From Cameron, who lives in Alberta, Canada, and he says, "Todd, restrictions on the size gatherings, including worship services, were lifted by the government several weeks ago.
Yay.
And our church had been split into 2 very small services in response to the requirement, and I expected that we would resume normal single-service Sunday worship routines almost immediately, but we have not. And most of our people are disappointed by this. And my question is, how do I respectively raise this concern with my elder board, knowing that there are considerations that I don't know about?"
Yeah. Did I ever tell you about how I got the job at KTIS? I'm kidding. I think you wisely just answered your own question. Just talk to them respectfully. Honor them, thank them, encourage them, and say, "Could you help me understand why we are doing more than what the government is mandating and separating the body? Because we used to be all together. Are we planning on going to 2 services? Is there something that I don't know? Because it seems we should be going back to that." Just do it honorably and see what they have to say. That is true with virtually every issue, every question you have about your church. Sit on it for a week. And if it's still, I really think that this is important, then just set up an appointment and meet with them and be respectful the way that we are called to be respectful when it comes to rebuking an elder. Paul told Timothy, you got to do it with respect as if you're talking to a father. And if you do that, you'll probably get it worked out. I don't understand. Now, there's been a lot of stuff that's lifted, and there are just some organizations that choose to keep doing it. It's not my favorite thing, frankly, but you just got to ask your church why it is that they are doing it. And please send questions, comments, conundrums, snarks to idea@wretched.org.
From Jack, he says, "A man contacted me on social media claiming to be a Christian and asking for money. He's from Gambia. When I responded, another Gambian account did something similar. Am I being scammed? Because I don't really want to not help those who are in Christ and poor, but I also know internet costs $5 per gigabyte, and that could buy them some food."
Yeah. We get those a lot here, actually. And I think it's a mistake to grow callous and cold to those requests, even if they're scamming. It's like clearly somebody's hurting and they're in need. I think wisdom says that's not the way to help. I think wisdom says you don't know. You can't verify. You can't take a look at how they're using the money. You don't know if it's going in their arm, up their nose, or into their belly. You don't know. And I think, therefore, it would be unwise to give money to somebody that could be used poorly, because you are charged to steward the money that God is currently loaning to you. I would encourage you, if you want to help the folks in Africa, well, for instance, right now, tomorrow clubs are starting up, hundreds of clubs in Africa. Support a ministry, tomorrowclubs.org/wretched. Support a ministry that does what it is, digging a well, providing food, whatever it is. And make sure that you look and see how they're spending their money. What are their percentages? Are they an accredited ministry by a Christian watchdog? We're a part of that. Because you want to make sure that you are spending your money wisely and well. So have compassion. Don't ever lose your tender heart. But wisdom, I think, says there's better means of helping people. This is Wretched Radio. You're just watching a one segment from the 4 segments that we do every single day on Wretched Radio. If you'd like to watch the whole shebang, you can do so at wretched.org. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is